Hello and welcome to the WOOLapyk podcast. My name is Ida and this is a podcast about knitting and sometimes yarn dyeing. Not today, but I do dye yarn, so sometimes I talk about that as well. Welcome if you're new and welcome back if you have been watching for a while. I have been doing my last podcasts in Danish, so it's been a while since I did an English one, but I've had a few people ask if I could do one in English, so I thought, why not? Today would be a good day to do so. My daughter is at her grandparents for a little vacation, so I have all day to do things. I don't have to pick her up from preschool or anything really. I don't have to put her to bed. So I feel like I have so much time suddenly, so that's really nice. Yeah, and then I also have started a Patreon. Well, I launched it yesterday, but I will talk about that in the end, so if you are interested you can hear more about that at the end. Let's start with some knitting. I have two and a half finished objects, but there are smaller finished objects. So let me see. Let's start with this little one. This is for my sister. She is pregnant with a little boy, and he's gonna be, well, he's due in the beginning of January, so it's a little winter baby. And this is the top part of Hurtigt Hentesæt by Lene Holme Samsø, which is a Danish knitwear designer. I didn't bring the booklet, but she's made a really nice booklet with baby knits, and this is a pattern from that booklet, and it's only in Danish as far as I know. It's just a very simple top-down cardigan knitted with some, I didn't bring the label, but it's Yngling wool. I think it's called super fine wool. I can't remember. It's a 100% merino wool, and it's very, very soft. I don't know if you can tell, but it's almost already peeling a little bit, just because of, you know, the softer the yarn, the bigger the peels. So, but it's incredibly soft, and I thought that would be such a nice thing for a tiny little baby garment. This is a size 0 to 2 months, so I hope it will fit him straight away from the get-go. I have knitted the cuffs a little longer, so they could be folded, and hopefully he'll be able to wear it, you know, for more than just 2 weeks, because you know, can fold the cuffs up or down, so they fit him. I think I'm gonna give this to her before she gives birth, just because, who knows, maybe she wants to well, not maybe she wants to, what I mean is, I don't know what the situation is at that point. It's in January, we still have COVID/Corona going on. Yeah, who knows what the situation is with that. At that point, maybe they don't want any visitors for the first few weeks, which makes sense too, just because they want to sort of get settled with the baby. So I wanted to give it to her before she gives birth, so she can put him in this as soon as possible after he's born. I really like it, so I hope she likes it too. I just think it's so cute and simple with the little buttons here. Yeah. So, and it was just a very simple, sweet little knit for her. The next thing is another baby knit, and this is for our little baby, who I'm pregnant, by the way. Yay! I think most of you follow me on Instagram, so I expect that most of you knew this, but if not, I'm pregnant, and with a baby due in mid-February, and we actually went to the 20-week scan today and everything looked fine, so that was really nice to see. Yeah, anyways, this is the pocket play suit by Ministrik, which is a Norwegian knitwear design company. And I can't remember the size of this. I think maybe it's the size 3 to 6 months. Something, or maybe it's just a size 3 months, something like that. I knit this in my own hand-dyed yarn in the October Mornings colorway. And this particular skein was lacking. There are very few little sort of pink speckles in the yarn, but this one basically, I mean, you can see maybe there's a little one there, but there was hardly any of this, so it's a little different from the original colorway. There should be just a tiny bit more pink speckles in the original colorway, just to let you know. So yeah, what is this? This is just a little suit with cute little pockets, and yeah, I think it's gonna be super cute on the baby. I was really drawn to this because I was reading about just how the pattern came to be, and they wrote, it's like from a big book of knitting patterns from Ministrik. They wrote that this was one of the first play suits or rompers made before. I mean, now there's a ton of these patterns, but, and obviously there was a lot of these too, like way back, but in newer modern time, this was one of the first ones, the first rompers. So I thought that would be a little fun to knit like this pattern for that reason as well. So, and the pockets, I know, I mean, obviously the baby's not going to use the pockets, but it's just a really cute little design feature. So this one is for the baby, or for our baby. Esther keeps saying my baby. It's my baby. Actually, I have another little pattern, which is also a romper. And I just finished this, so, well, I finished knitting it, but as you can see, there is a ton of ends. Well, not a ton, but there are some ends that needs to be woven in. This is the Charlie romper by also Line Holme Samsø, the same designer who made this, and it's also from the same booklet. If you're Danish, the booklet is called Babystrik på Pinde 3,5 eller 4, and I think it's it's the new one. So she just came out with a new one recently. Yeah, I just really like this one because I think the back is so cool. This ripping and the decreases. It needs a little bit of a blocking because it's puckering right here, but I think once I've blocked it, it will be super nice and flat. So, cute little thing. I knit this in a stash yarn, which is 1000 Frods Hverdagsull. It's a discontinued yarn. It's just a 100% woolen yarn. It's a little rustic, but I thought the baby's gonna wear it on top of tights and a onesie, so it's not gonna touch the skin, and so it would be fine. Also reminds me a little bit of a bathing suit, but it will keep the baby nice and warm. So, and I used up every last bit of this skein, so this is not a skein, it's just a ball of yarn, and that always makes me happy when I don't have any leftovers left. So this is out of my stash. It's been there for years, so that feels really good too. Okay, I'm just gonna have to see if the camera is still recording. Yes. And by the way, we are in my daughter's room. I am in the midst of packaging advents. If you ordered an advent and you are international, meaning if you're not Danish, I already sent those out. I still need to package and send off the Danish ones, which isn't really, I mean, I'm way ahead of time because it only takes between 2 and 4 days to get to, you know, recipients in Denmark, but I just want to get it, you know, off and away and out of my house and to the recipients. So I hope to be able to package all this up tonight, at least some of it. Yeah, and you can see a little bit of toy and things like that all over the place. So yeah, you are in my daughter's room with me. Works in progress. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 actually. I didn't bring everything in here. I have a few, 5 different things on my needles. Soon I will have 6 because I'm gonna start a new sweater for Jakob. But let's start with my cardigan, which is right here. This is it Novice Cardigan, I think it's called, by Petite Knit Mohair Edition, something like that. It's a Petite Knit pattern. Just a very simple top-down cardigan with a round yoke and increases every, I don't know, 4 or 5 centimeters. It is knit with 2 strands of yarn. I am using, again, October Mornings on silk mohair and just a white silk mohair as well. Looking at it now, I wish I had used 2 strands of the October Mornings, but I also think that I want to use this as a shop sample, and using 2 strands of hand-dyed silk mohair is gonna be a lot of money for a lot of people. So I wanted to show how far you can get just 1 strand of a hand-dyed yarn, and then you can buy, you know, for example, the white commercial silk mohair, and it would be a little cheaper for you. So, but I think if it was just for me and I didn't think about using it as a, like, for going onto different yarn festivals, I would have used 2 strands of October Mornings. But still like it. I was very much well, I wasn't really sure that I liked it in the beginning, but it's growing on me, and I feel like it's gonna fit with a lot of different a lot of the garments that I have in my closet. It's fairly neutral, so I think I'm gonna end up being really happy with this. It's been in hiatus for a month or so, or maybe even longer, for a while. Yeah, and it probably will be for a while more because I have other things that I want to finish before this. But it's just a very simple, I mean, the rest is basically just stockinette stitch for the body, and then I need to do the sleeves, which I think is also just, I think you just knit the sleeve and then you do the increases at the ribbing, so that's going to be fairly simple as well. Yeah, not much else to say about this. Novice Cardigan Mohair Edition by Petite Knit. I actually have 2 more Petite Knit patterns on my needles. First off, I actually just ended up ripping part of this out because this is the Friday sweater, the baby version, and I just had enough yarn. I'm using my 50% silk mohair, no, my 50% silk and my 50% non-superwash merino for this, and these are 2 just scrap yarns that I had laying around in my stash, and there's just enough for a newborn size. I think the pattern calls for 45 grams of the main color and then 14 grams of the stripe. So this is going to be the stripy color and this is the main color. And I think I have 47 grams of this and 18 grams of this. So it's going to be very tight, but hopefully it's going to be perfect, and I'm going to be, you know, using every bit of this. That would be great to get this out of my stash. Anyway, so I'm saying all this because I'm knitting the size 0 to 1 month old, so the smallest size. And the pattern does not have a, what's that called in English? Basically, you knit the ribbing at the neck like in the round. So what I'm doing here is not following the pattern, but I tried casting on the required number of stitches and it was tiny. I mean, you can see it here. It's tiny, and there's no way you can get this over a baby's head. And I have not done a gauge swatch, and I'm using a 50% silk yarn, so that's less elastic than the yarn used in the pattern, which is a 100% wool yarn. That may have something to do with it. So what I did is I cast on for the size 1 to 2 months, so there are, I think, 8 more stitches on that, and which is what you see here, and it's still very tiny. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna the memory card was full, so I just had to empty it. Yeah, so I'm back again. And I was talking about the Friday sweater, and I think I was talking about what I did. So instead of knitting the hem at the neck and the round, I've decided to knit back and forth. First time I did that, I knit to the first stripe, and then I just joined it around, and then I plan to knit or to add snaps. Well, I still plan to do that, but it was still very, very small. If you sign up for my Patreon, I talk a little bit about it in one of the videos on there. Or I will. That's gonna be the October version, the October video log where I talk about that. Yeah, but like I said, it was too small, so I ripped it back, and I think I'm gonna continue knitting back and forth until I hit the second stripe, and then I'm gonna join in the round and add snaps, and then hopefully everything's gonna be fine and it's gonna be big enough to pull over a baby's head. So that's the plan for the Friday sweater. The last thing in progress is also a petite knit pattern, which usually I haven't knit a lot of her patterns, but I am at the moment apparently. So I am knitting the Wednesday sweater, which is an oversized turtleneck sweater, and I'm using a black yarn. This is Lima from Yarn, which is a very affordable 100% woolen yarn, and then I'm holding that together with Disco Fever, which is a new colorway that I dyed up specifically for this sweater. I had this vision of a colorful sweater with sort of a black background, so, and I'm really happy with the way it looks, which you can see. Oh, let's turn it the right way, just right here. I'm almost done with the body. I just need a little more of ribbing and then I'm done. So it's definitely not my usual color palette, but I don't know, I just felt like knitting something with a little more color, and I'm really, really happy with this. I think I'm gonna be so happy with this this fall and winter. I am not knitting a turtleneck, as you can see, because I feel like I just don't like that when it's like too much around my neck. I would rather just have a scarf or a shawl, and I can take that on and off as I want. I think it's just, and it also just feels too warm for me. So I decided to just do a high neck. I don't know if that's a term you can use, but I just knit for, I don't know, what's that, 5 centimeters, something like that, maybe a little more, and then cast off. I'm supposed to do a tubular cast on. I just couldn't be bothered. The same thing down here. You're supposed to do a tubular cast off. I didn't do that either. I'm not going to do that here. I honestly don't see that big of a difference, not for me. And maybe it's because I'm really bad at doing those, like the tubular bind off or cast on. But I feel like this is just as nice. in my knitwear at least. So yeah, not much else to say about this. It's just a lot of stockinette stitch on fairly thick needles. So I would say it's been fairly quick, except that when I knitted so you knit this where you cast on stitches for the back first. You knit the back, and then you pick up and you sort of knit on top, or you knit the shoulders this way around, and then you knit the front. So that was really poorly explained, I'm sorry. But anyways, what I wanted to say with that is, as I was knitting back and forth here on the front, it turned out to be very, very stripy. And at first I thought, you know, that's gotta be cool, I don't mind that. So I knit that and I got to maybe around here, and I didn't like it. So I ended up ripping all that back again and reknitting it with just alternating my skeins even more. Actually, you can see, if you look down here on the ribbing, it's stripy. It's sort of that same effect that it had on the top. I don't mind it as much down here because it's a little more broken because of the ribbing, and because it's the bottom of the sweater, so you don't see it as much. But I just didn't like it up here in the top part. Yeah, so I think the gauge is 15 stitches, so it's per 10 centimeters, so it's fairly quick. A fairly quick knit. Yeah, this is what I am working on at the moment. On to Patreon. I'm trying to be a little quick because this is I think it's only 2 GB on this memory card, so it fills up quickly, and I want to get everything set before it is filled up again. On to Patreon. So like I said in the beginning, I have just launched a Patreon for my channel, and Patreon is basically a platform where you pay to view whatever person that you're following, their content. So it can be, I think a lot of people do blog posts and pictures, and also a lot of people do podcasts and things like that. And my Patreon is gonna be mainly videos, so I'm gonna do a monthly vlog where I just, if you watch my vlogs before, it's gonna be that format where I record a little bit here and there, record about my little very tiny small business and about my family and what we do and trips out of the house, things like that. And then I'm also going to do, I think I'm going to try and do one monthly podcast, and it could be a podcast like this, but it could also just be a podcast about, for example, now I'm doing a lot of baby knitting, so the baby knits that I've done, or it's like a very special sweater that I'm working on that I feel like I want to talk more about, things like that. And it's gonna be in English because I know there's Danish people watching here too, but I feel like, first of all, doing it in English means that more people could be interested in supporting me on Patreon, and second of all, I think for a lot of Danish people, paying to watch a video log or a podcast like this is a very foreign thing to do, and because we're just a little behind in Denmark on certain things, like, you know, podcasts in Denmark are only recently, like within the last year, got really, really popular, Danish podcasts, where it's been very popular in the last, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years, and like the English speaking world. I mean, we speak English here, but like in the UK and the US, so I thought that would make better sense to do it because of that. I'm also doing it because my daughter is now, she turns 4 in only 2 weeks time, even less, very soon, and I feel like I want to protect her privacy more than I have previously because she's getting bigger. So I'm still gonna do regular podcasts, I think, but that's only gonna be knitting. I don't want to really talk about privacy on like my regular YouTube channel because everyone in the whole world can go watch those videos, whereas when it's on Patreon, it's only people who pay to watch the videos. So I have a lot more control of who's watching it, and it's not like I meet somebody on the street and then they can Google my name, or they can Google WOOLapyk and then they can find the video and watch them. Or they can, but then they would have to pay a little amount to watch the videos, and I think a lot of people are not willing to do that. So that's also a very big deal, or part of it. And the last part is, I feel like I really like doing podcasts, and I really, really like doing video vlogs, but they're a lot of work, and even though I like it and I find it very, very fun, I think I've been feeling previously that because I love doing it, then I don't need money for doing it, or I don't need, because it's fun and it's just a hobby, but you can get paid to do things you love. And it was just like a light bulb moment. I was like, yeah, you know, that's okay. A lot of people do things they love and they get paid to do it, so it's okay to do so. And also I'm just, you know, I think especially after being a mom, I'm just very aware of how I use my time, and I don't have a lot of free time, so doing a podcast or video log is just using up a lot of my free time because I can't do it when I have my daughter here. So it makes more sense for me to have support from people who want to watch what I do, when I know that there's going to be a financial benefit from doing it, basically. So that's also a really big part of it. So the Patreon is not going to be, you can choose between two, excuse me, I hope you didn't hear that. But you can choose between two tiers. I think that was what I called, like, two plans. So one is where you sign up and you get access to monthly video logs. So there's going to be one for each month. I just uploaded one for September. I'm going to do one for October, and so on and so forth. And the second one is where you get access to the video log, and you also get access to a monthly podcast that I do. And then I may add some pictures and things like that. I don't really know. It could change. I think I know the first tier, so the one where you watch the video log, is $3 a month, and the other one where you do video log and the podcast is $5 a month. So that's fairly cheap compared to other Patreons. I even got like a notice saying, you're doing this too cheap. Like, they have that on automatically on Patreon, but I don't want, it's not going to be my main income at all. I just want a little bit of compensation. Oh, that's what I wish for. Maybe nobody's interested. That's totally fine. Then I'm not going to do it, obviously. But I thought, you know, you never know. Like, maybe some of you would find that interesting and would be willing to pay. If not, I'm just going to close it down. It's not a big deal. So I'm just trying it out, hoping maybe some of you would be interested. If you're not, that's absolutely totally fine. You don't have to do it. You know, money, we all look out for our money and how we use them, so I totally get that, and don't feel guilty or like you have to do it. It's completely free. And I still think I would do occasional podcasts on YouTube that's gonna be free. So yeah, that was it for today. I hope you enjoyed following along, and I hope you're all well. And Denmark has been closing down a little bit again because of COVID-19, so yeah, just hope everyone is feeling good and safe and healthy. And I will talk to you, I don't know when. I think maybe my next podcast is going to be in Danish. I don't know. But I will definitely make an English one at another point. So thank you for watching. Bye.